Hi everyone, Eleanor here. I'm back again to talk about sugar addiction. So, today I'm going to talk with the people, with you, the ones who have acknowledged, the ones who have realized that they are sugar addicted. And I mean, in general, it's a whole process. You don't accept it right away. It takes a long time before you realize that you're probably sugar addicted, to accept it and to know that you have to do a major change in your life to be able to overcome it. It takes time. It's not easy. But for the ones who are there, for the ones who know that, okay, now it's a time in my life that I will do the change so that I can get free from these cravings, free from this addiction. The important to know is to analyze the addiction, because there can be so many different issues. I mean, there can be things behind. Some people might have some trauma, maybe needing to have professional help, maybe needing to go see a psychiatrist to talk about, problems. For others, there's none. It's just a physical thing. I mean, I know for many years people told me, oh, but maybe it's because of this and that. And I've been trying to analyze, do I have some unworked issues from my past? And no, I mean, I have a normal life. I mean, I lost my mother when I was 17, but I dealt with that. I don't have an issue with it. And the same, I mean, small things in life, but that's normal. That's what everyone has. But I didn't have any other, and then people will tell me, yes, but probably it's because your diet is not stable enough and your blood sugar is varying. So I tried to go on really good and healthy diets to make sure my blood sugar would be good and my proteins. It didn't change. I still wanted the sugar. So if you feel like you have some psychological problems behind it, I recommend you seeking help for that. And if you are purely a physical thing, you dealt with the psychology thing and you have that in order, and now it's just you hook on sugar and you can't stop it, then we can talk about different solutions. If you feel like a person that you don't want to stop. I mean, there's people out there who knows they're sugar addicted, but they just don't want to stop. They have two choices. You have the first one is to just stay as a big person and embrace the big person you are, and stop being guilty over it. Stop, eat and that's it. You have to, you are responsible for what you do. The second is move into a fitness center so that every time you eat, you can do hard sports afterward and you can burn off everything you ate. That's another solution. I have friends who do that. They don't want to stop, so they just live. They go to fitness every single day, just to maintain. They won't lose anything because, bag of chips will be like an hour on the treadmill, but at least they will not gain anything more. But if you are like me, who doesn't necessarily like to live in a fitness center, there's not 50 ways around it. You need to stop the sugar. And when I say stop the sugar, people always freak out because they say, yeah, but we need sugar. Sugar is important. I know, but when I say stop sugar, I don't necessarily mean we're going to stop every single sugar. You have sugar in everything you eat. We are going to stop with refined white sugars. We're going to stop with cookies and cakes and ice cream and desserts and all those bad things. White bread, flour. You're going to start rethinking of living doing more healthy choices. Because I know that we need you the same. We're going to go low carb, but you still need carb. But we're going to take good carbs. You have carbs in food. You got carbs in everything, but you don't need to have like a bag of chips that has a lot of carbs in it. So it's doing healthy choices. Nothing that will put you in danger whatsoever. I'm not going to tell you to do any, weird new stuff. I'm not going to ask you to follow any strict diets. I'm a kind of person, I have always had a hard time, being disciplined, follow a program or sticking to a diet or things like that. And what I like with this way of living is I don't need to stick to anything. I have just eliminated what was bad for me. I've taken away the problem. And then I feel like I can eat anything I want because I know what I can eat. And within that limit of I can eat, I'm free to do whatever I want, as long as I don't go to the bad stuff. And after a while, being consistent, doing it over and over again, making the same choices over and over again, it will just become a very natural thing. It will become a lifestyle, and you will not even think about it after a while. Of course, in the beginning, it's going to be hard. The addiction is going to work against you. But here is the very, very first important lesson before you can start to do anything. Okay, you follow me now. All your life, you've been fighting with yourself. You've been angry with yourself, not understanding why you don't have any willpower, blaming yourself for being weak, becoming disappointed in yourself for taking candies when you shouldn't. I can go on and on about this. It's always been a very negative thing because we feel like we have like nearly a split personality. You have one side of you who knows that you shouldn't take the candy or cookie or whatever. The other goes, okay, you can have some. You can start tomorrow. Tomorrow will be fine. Once you understand that this voice here is not you, but this is the addiction, once you understand that you're not going to fight with you against you anymore, because when you do fight against yourself, it's always one side of you who are going to lose, and that side you're going to punish. And because you're so ugly and you're so dumb and you are so lack of willpower, you can just take that cookie anyhow, but who cares? Stop. You against the addiction. So you're going to start treating yourself good, and you're not going to listen to the addiction. Because every time when you're out and you're feeling I shouldn't eat that cake, that's you. And the voice that says, oh, you can take some, that's not you, that's the addiction. So separate yourself from the addiction so that you know who you're fighting against. And every time you have a craving, you think, who am I giving this to? Am I feeding me or am I feeding the addiction? It's going to help you tremendously knowing that you're not fighting against yourself. You are worth so much more. And the voice of the addiction, the less you give it, the smaller it becomes. And at the very end, when you don't feed it anymore, it will go dormant. And it won't bother you the same way. Everything I say, I don't base on my personal experience right now. I use from past experience when I stopped sugar before surgery. And I base it on knowledge I've read and by research and from other groups and from groups that are for sugar addicted people who have not had surgery. Because I'm still only a little bit over a year past surgery, and some people will tell me, yes, but this is because you're still in the honeymoon stage and at that time you don't have cravings. They may be right. And therefore I work every single day to make sure that my habits, my choices and everything is so, grounded that when I reach that 2-3 years mark, I would have been doing this for so long that it will have become a lifestyle and habit. Because habit takes extremely long time to create. So the first thing you do is to separate yourself from the addiction.